Citizens of Cody, welcome to Salisbury Avenue. Behind me is your streets department. What they're doing right now is chip sealing the existing area. It's the routine maintenance that we do once every few years to try and keep our roads intact. As you can see behind, they're in an active chip sealing process. So Phillip, why don't you give us just an overview of the Parks Department, kind of what they oversee and what they kind of do in a given year.
Okay, so our streets department is made up of 7 individuals currently. We have a 7-person crew, and that's overseen by our street superintendent. We also have in that division vehicle maintenance, so that's additional 2 crew members that take care of our vehicle maintenance and equipment maintenance program as well. The streets crew is responsible for a total of about 70 miles of paved streets, and also responsible for gravel streets and alleys that total about 12 miles. So they have a lot of responsibility in the miles and the value of our street system. They also take care of curb, gutter, and sidewalk, and the storm sewer and inlets that provide drainage for those streets. And they take care of all of our street signs as well. We have over 2,000 signs in the city that they're responsible for maintenance and upkeep on. So the streets crew stays very busy this time of year with chip sealing. That's their main activity, and they'll be focused on that for the next 2 weeks coming up.
So tell us about what is the chip sealing, kind of what's involved in it, and why chip sealing? And why do we do this, and what does it save on?
Sure. So chip sealing is a process that is intended to extend the life of our streets. It's a 2-part process, as you had some video from this morning. The first part of that process is to spray what's called an asphalt emulsion onto the existing street. And that asphalt emulsion is made up of asphalt, petroleum-based asphalt. It also has water in that emulsion that helps keep it liquid. And it also has some polymers and other additives that help it set up and form as the water dries out. As you saw, the sprayer applies that material at a very high temperature, so you could see the steam coming off when that was applied to the pavement surface. And then that helps it stay liquid as well and be able to spray through those nozzles. So once that asphalt emulsion is applied, then we're following up with a coat of aggregate material, which is typically referred to as chip. And that's a consistent rock, crushed rock material of very similar size. So in this case, in our streets that we're doing right now, we're using a size of 3/8 inch chip. And that's very clean rock, very consistent size, common size. We don't want a lot of fines or sand in that, but once we put that chip down, that asphalt soaks up into the chip and actually adheres the chip to the street surface. So we get 2 primary benefits out of that chip seal. The first is that the asphalt coats the entire pavement surface and provides a sealant so that it sheds water and does not allow water to penetrate into the asphalt pavement section. The second benefit is that the chip provides a good traction and durability of the surface, so that when vehicles are driving on that, they get good traction during wintertime conditions or snow and ice. And then secondly, that's a wearing surface that does not degrade the underlying asphalt. So those are our two biggest benefits out of that chip seal. And as you mentioned, chip seal is a pavement maintenance What that does is allows us to put down chip seal at a much lower cost than full reconstruction or an asphalt overlay, and it extends the life of our pavement. Typically, we expect pavements to be designed and have a lifespan of about 20 years, but if we chip seal, we can usually extend that life from anywhere to 5 to 10 years per chip seal, and we have some streets now that we've chip sealed twice and be able to extend that life over 30 years. So it really helps us extend the life at a much more lower cost than full reconstruction.
Nice. And you talked about the streets crew. In a given year, what are some of the responsibilities they have beyond the chip sealing per se and some of the maintenance of the streets? Can you discuss that with us?
Sure. So a really big part of what our streets crew undertakes, obviously here in our environment, is snow management and ice control. So during the winter months of starting from October through April, we have 2 members of our streets crew that are on call every week and through the weekends, and they would be our first responders to any type of snow or ice event. So that is really their main focus through those winter months. Our crew spend a lot of time preparing for storms and getting our equipment ready. We also do a lot of mixing of our sanding, the sand mix. We have a mix of sand and salt that we put down on our intersections and at our hills during those snow times to provide traction, and then the actual plowing and removal. As you know, our plowing methodology on some of our major streets like Sheridan and the West Strip is to windrow that snow into the middle and get the driving lanes cleared. Once the snow ends and we're able to get out there without it snowing anymore, we then haul that snow off. We have several spots around the city, the main one being down by our public workshops where we haul that snow and then allow it to melt in the spring. So that's a really big activity for them for basically half the year. During the summer months, the other half of the year, streets crew is involved in street cleaning with our street sweepers. They're involved in alley maintenance. We have an active alley grading program where we grade the alleys, try to grade every alley once a year and put new road base down. They do patching and repairs. A good example right now is the work our streets crew is doing out on Rumsey Avenue with some curb and gutter replacement. We have some old curb and gutter that is broken and degraded due to its age, and so they've torn up that curb and gutter and are getting those repaired. They do sidewalk repairs. They also do drainage repairs, repair drainage culverts and irrigation culverts that cross our streets. So they're involved with anything and everything to do with our street system and our transportation methodologies for both vehicles and pedestrians.
Including closing the streets for parades.
That's right. There's another fine example, Mayor. Our streets crew is very involved with all of the special events that the city hosts. A big focus for us every year is the July 4th events. Our streets crew works to get all the traffic closure up and help get the parade route set up with those closures. They're here every 4th of July. The streets crew is working on the 4th of July and those surrounding days. So this year they worked both days on both Saturday and Sunday of the weekend. So the streets crew is really committed, along with other members of the city staff and public works crews that come out and help at those events as well. But the streets crew really does take the lead in that traffic control for the 4th of July parade and other parades and events throughout the city over the summer months.
Great. Well, thank you for your information, Phillip.
You bet.
And we'll hope this brings a little bit more enlightenment to our citizens about the streets department.